we know that satellites go around planets, like the moon. And there are other smaller satellites that go around other planets. We know that planets go around the sun, like all the planets do. We also know that there are other stars out in the sky. So let's think one level higher. Is it possible for the stars to go around something that's even more massive or even more heavy? And the answer is yes. So all the stars, that is the sun, and all the stars that are close to it, are part of a large collection of stars that we call a galaxy. This particular galaxy is called the Milky Way. So the sun is a part of the Milky Way. And all the stars in the Milky Way, there are millions of stars. All these stars go around a central supermassive object called a black hole. Till recently, black holes were just predictions. They were theoretical predictions. We really did not know if they existed. But on April 10th, 2019, scientists from the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration, they actually took a picture of a black hole. And this is that picture. This is the first ever actual picture of a black hole that we've ever taken. And this is also proof that black holes actually do exist. But what are black holes? Well, black holes are these supermassive objects, sometimes billion times the mass of the sun, and they're very dense. They're compressed into extremely tiny spaces, and that is a black hole. Because of their extremely high mass and very high density, they have very weird gravitational effects, so much so that light itself can't escape black holes, and that's why black holes appear black at the center. But now let's come back to what we were talking about, galaxies, right? And particularly our galaxy, the Milky Way. Now, the Milky Way is said to have anywhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars. That's the number of stars that's in this galaxy alone. Now, if you went out of the galaxy and if you took a video or a photo of our galaxy, this is what it looked like. It has this weird spiral structure, and that's why it's called a spiral galaxy. At the center, it has a bulged portion, which is called the bulge. If you move away from that, there is a flattened disc-like structure, which we call the disc. And then we have the spiral arms. And then finally, there is a halo of dust particles, which we call the halo. And this is the basic structure of our Milky Way. And we, the sun, is said to be somewhere in this area, in one spiral arm called the Orion spiral arm. It's about 2/3 the distance of the entire radius of the galaxy from the center. But the Milky Way is hardly the only galaxy in the universe. There are infinitely many galaxies. There are uncountable galaxies in the universe. You'll notice there's another galaxy close by. Well, this one also is a spiral galaxy, and it's called the Andromeda Galaxy. Just like this, there are other galaxies as well, but there are different types of galaxies. If you keep looking in space, or if you keep, let's say you were traveling in space, you will be able to see other galaxies as well. Now, if you point at this one has a slightly different shape. It's called an elliptical galaxy. It has an elliptical shape. It doesn't have those spiral arms. These kind of galaxies are slightly larger and sometimes older, right? And they probably have more number of stars. Some examples of galaxies are elliptical galaxies are M49, M59, and M60. Now, these galaxies are actually visible. Some of these galaxies are actually visible from the Earth itself. If you look from the Earth and look up at the night sky using telescopes, you can actually see galaxies. In fact, there were very long back, the Hubble Space Telescope captured one blank spot in the sky, and it noticed, or using that image, we found that there were actually hundreds of galaxies just in one spot in the sky. there is one more type of galaxy. It's called the irregular galaxy. It looks like this. As you can see, it has a weird or an irregular shape. This generally happens when something comes close to a spiral galaxy or an elliptical galaxy, something with a great gravitational force, and sort of changes the shape and gives rise to this shape. Now, all this information came to us from one person who dedicated his life to the field of cosmology and astronomy. Now, it's the same person whose name is on that telescope I spoke about. His name is Edwin Hubble. He was a famous American astronomer who looked at all the different gas clouds and proved that they were galaxies, basically collections of stars. Not just that, he was the one who gave us a classification scheme. He classified all the galaxies based on their size, their shape, their brightness, and gave us the Edwin Hubble classification scheme.